Hey, Perry Tinsley here, creator of the Power Blast podcast, owner of PutYourselfFirst.com, and thanks for joining me on this Decade for Change post. This is going to be, I don't know if I'm anticipating to be a tough one or not, so you're forewarned, because I may get a little bit blubbery here. I'm going to share with you the day that I got to see Terri after her accident. And that, let's see, I'm trying to go back to memory here, and if I had family members and people around me that were there, they could help me with the story, formulate the story a little bit clearer. But I needed to contact, after I got that message that from the coroner that greeted me at the door and told me that Terri was killed in a car crash, that she was down the street, just literally 4 blocks away from me, 3 blocks away, at a funeral home where she was at, and they would respect my wishes wherever. If I had a funeral home I wanted her to go to, or needed her to go to her where she grew up, and in Plainfield, wherever it was, they were more than happy. They just wanted to let me know that she was there. So we were in Fort Atkinson. It just made sense that they handled the arrangements. And so I think I want to say it was the next day. It might have been the day after, but I want to say it was the next day, because I think she passed away on a Tuesday. So things were, we were trying to arrange some sort of thing to happen by the weekend, so family could come in and pay their respects, and we could have a celebration for Terri. So as I brainstormed those things with her secretary, and even a little bit with my neighbor, kind of brainstormed some things, mostly with the secretary, kind of orchestrating some things that we may do throughout the celebration, the tribute, funeral, whatever you want to call it. But I needed to go down and make those arrangements. So I think it was just with my folks. I think there was just 3 of us. It might have been my secretary. I don't remember. We went down and met with the funeral home person, and those guys were great. Natardi Funeral Home, Dave Natardi, was just phenomenal, just awesome guy. And as we sat there and we talked about options and arrangements, and whether staying there for her was the best way, possibilities of using facilities there, other places in town, etc. Kind of in line with some of the brainstorming that we did the night before. And they were more than accommodating, way more than accommodating. And so I'm so glad that we went there. And yeah, I'm building up the story, aren't I? So as we were making some arrangements, and like I said, Terri chose cremation. And so as we were talking about certain things, and we were talking about visitation and stuff like that, I knew her family would want to come in and be able to pay some last respects to Terri, if that's what if they chose to do that. So, but I remember kind of just standing up, kind of to stretch and saying, so when can I see her? And I think that freaked out the funeral director, because he thought I was like going to walk in the back room or something like that. And yeah, I've seen the show 6 Feet Under, and I'm sure there are lots of little scenes and scenarios of what that would be like. But he was like, well, she's not in a state right now where we want you to to see her, but if you come back in a couple hours, I'll have that. And so we did. I forget what we went and did in the meantime. We might have gone to see the scene of the accident or whatever in the meantime, but we did come back in a few hours, and wow. I'm gonna go and replay that scene because I didn't know what it was gonna be like. I didn't. He put her in. He put her in a room where you'd normally have like funeral stuff. The open caskets and things like that. And so he had her wrapped in some sheets. It was very very nicely done. And Terri suffered some major injuries, but she didn't have any head trauma, anything like that. But she was definitely covered up all the way up to her neck. But I remember walking in. And almost yelling, what did you do? What did you do? But it wasn't like yelling at her. It was like more of a question, what did you do? That sort of thing. And so it was hard. As it would, for anybody, I'm sure all of you can, do that. But boy, it was just really, and I don't remember how long I was in there, how long I expected to be in there, what I would say, what I would feel, anything like that. I didn't expect it to sting as hard as it did. And I just didn't know what. It's all kind of a blur, but I do remember. I know I hugged her and I probably kissed her and told her it would be okay, and we'd take care of things and the animals and stuff. But it was a doozy. It was I was really surprised that I walked in. It was just like, what did you do? What did you because that's where I saw her. It was like the world just turned upside down out of the clear blue. Taken. And because I didn't know the details of the accident, I didn't know anything like that. It was like she left. And so that was a really, I don't know if I was in there that long. I know I did a little screaming. Fortunately, nobody came in and went, "Oh, Perry, you okay?" No, my family, everybody gave me that time to go in and pay my respects and things like that. And then my family did the same thing. It's just hard seeing somebody in that state. Yeah, I know that Terri's not the only one that's ever passed away. I don't know if when her whole family came down, if all of them went in to say their goodbyes or their respects. I know it was very hard, and each, her brother and sister came down, and her mom, and I know they all took it in very, very different ways, and so that was just it was hard, and I didn't know what to expect. How people would react either. I think it affects everybody differently, but that's I don't know. I wish I could say, hey, here's the lesson here. Go for that. Other than and I need to share this story with you. What happened, and along the way, it was a powerful day. It was very, very one that I didn't expect how to react. I think a lot of times we look at, we kind of create these scenarios like, oh, I don't know how I'd react, or you think you'd react a certain way and you act a totally different way. That's kind of what, as this whole thing played out, things that I would think I would react a certain way, I didn't, and then other ones it would just have me breaking down, just crazy. This one, obviously, as you know, I was face to face, obviously, with the car crash, stuff like that. But when I was face to face with my wife laying there, really tough stuff. Anyway, hey, thanks for tuning in and suffering from my little blubbery and reliving my story there. But I so appreciate you coming on the Decade for Change, and we'll see you next time.